Okay, webinar is now live. So I'll just give it a couple minutes for people to join.
Okay, and when should I know to transition to or stop sharing my screen?
Well, this is the only screen. This is the only thing you have, right? You're not moving. Perfect. So we can leave this if you'd like, or if maybe you want like 10 minutes in, you can stop.
Well, I just want to make sure they are able to see me though, right?
Yeah, they can see you.
Okay. It's just kind of like a background or the second kind of slide over.
Yeah, it's they can see both of us and they can see the screen that you have up.
Okay, great.
Hello, everyone. So we already have a few attendees. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Anissa Baktashi. I'm here from the SIEDC at our annual virtual business conference and Health Expo. Thank you so much for joining. I'm going to introduce here Roosevelt Board from I Am Empowering.
Good morning, everyone. As she said, good morning. As she stated already, my name is Roosevelt Board. I am the owner-operator of Chick-fil-A at Staten Island Mall. As she stated, I am a member of I Am Empowering. I'm a board member with I Am Empowering. I've been with them close to about 2 years now, and excited about the things that we've done in the past at I Am Empowering, about building up youth and letting them dream and giving them some tools to apply to those dreams and hopefully accomplish those dreams one day in the future.
Thank you. Very well said, Roosevelt. We appreciate that. Did you want to discuss a little bit just how we can work with the winning at the game of life, and how these types of attitudes have helped you be, or come to the position that you are now?
Yeah, definitely. If I have the stage, I'll go ahead and take that. Well, guys, I know the topic of winning at life is a pretty, it's a some may say a broad statement, but I think it's huge, right? And I think everyone has their own definition of what winning at life, right, is. And so I'm going to give you guys my perspective today, not saying that it's 100% correct, but again, it's just my point of view and the way I view winning at life. So before we get started, guys, I want to take a second I'm going to think that I'm only talking to one person today, but hopefully there's 500 of you out there today. But this is that one individual today. I want you to take a second and I want you to close your eyes, right? All right, so let's close our eyes, right? I can see that person, I can see you. All right, close your eyes. All right, now I want you to take a second and think about you being in your warm bed. No, I'm kidding. I want you to think about what your dream job is, all right? Did you think of it? You got it? All right, just that first one, all right? What's your dream job, all right? And then what's your dream car, right? All right, and then the next thing I want you to do, keep your eyes closed. I want you to tell me how much money is enough money for you, right? All right, you got those numbers in your head? Open your eyes, guys. All right, newsflash. Not all of that matters, right? It's important, right? We all want those nice things. Don't get me wrong. I'm a person, like, my dream car in life is a Bentley Continental GT. Black with brown seats. Like, that's my dream car, right? But I'm not measuring my success in life off of that Bentley Continental GT. And don't get me wrong, I'm gonna work hard to get it, but it's not, if I don't get it at the end of my time, it's not gonna be me saying I lost that life, right? And so that's what I wanna kind of talk about today with you guys. Winning at, like I said, winning at life has a deeper meaning. Those three things that you imagine in your head isn't everything. And so I'm going to talk about I've got 5 things that I want to share with you on the way I've won at life, in my opinion, right? And so, and then also I want to discuss, purpose versus passion, success versus being successful. And throughout those things, I'm going to share my story on where I got to the position I'm in today as a Chick-fil-A franchise owner, as a business owner at the age of 31. So without further ado, here it is, guys. We talked about all the things, those 3 things that you wanted, right? The dream job, the car, the amount of money that you want. The question that I always like to start with when I'm helping people think through what they want to do or what they want to accomplish is the why. Why do you want those things? Because the why will give you direction as you're trying to figure out, and you're trying to, whether it's trying to figure out colleges, trying to figure out your next steps after, losing a job. It's the why behind that, whatever it is that's going to continue to keep you motivated. And so for me, my why do I do what I do? I love developing people. That is my passion. Excuse me, that's my purpose, I feel like. But I love business, and that's my passion. But I feel like my purpose ultimately is developing people. I'll share with you guys our mission statement here at Chick-fil-A Staten Island Mall. It's to develop a team of people that dream, achieve, and succeed while being a pillar of support for a community that relies on our existence as much as we rely upon them. So that first line about dreaming, I want to take you guys back in 2011 when I graduated college at Coastal Carolina University in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Go Shannon Clears. And I majored in marketing. I'll tell you guys, I interned at Southwest Airlines. I interned with NASCAR. I was a president of the marketing club for 2 years. And I just knew my future was going to be in marketing, advertising. I was going to work at some big ad agency in the city and, wear those 3-piece suits and drive the fancy car. But I'll tell you guys, when I finished college and I was applying for jobs, there was no return phone calls or emails. And I had to start thinking about, what did I want to do? I didn't want to go back home and live with my mom and my family. And so I had to think about, what do you really want to do and where do you see yourself going? Well, like I said, I didn't want to go home. So I had to figure out next steps. And so I started looking at local opportunities, and Chick-fil-A just happened to be one of those opportunities. And back up just a little bit, when I was at a younger age, I always knew I wanted to be a restaurant owner. I just knew that I wanted to own my own business, but I wanted to specifically be a restaurant. Like many of you, I grew up off my mother and my grandmother's cooking, and I just knew, like, if I could have a business that has this type of food in it, I'm going to be successful. So that was my goal. That was the dream, right? And that was the dream that I had like way down in life when I was like 40 or 50. But like I said, here I am at 22, trying to figure out what the next steps are in life. And here is Chick-fil-A saying, hey, come on and join us. Be a part of our organization. You could actually one day become your own franchise owner. And a kid at 22 who's looking at option A, which is nothing, and then option B, which is Chick-fil-A, I'm like, all right, let's try Chick-fil-A, and I could one day become a restaurant owner. Again, my why was I wanted to serve people. I wanted to give people a great experience like I had at my dinner table growing up. And so that helped me get through and say, you know what, I'm going to do Chick-fil-A. And here I am now, almost a decade later, and it's been a heck of a journey, but the why behind it has kept me along that journey and stayed focused. The second word I want to use is focus. Because while I was working for Chick-fil-A, like I said, I've been doing this 10 years, but I've only been owned my Chick-fil-A for 2 years. And so the past 8 years have been building up to these moments that I'm in today. But I had to stay focused. If I wanted to go out and hang out with my friends and do all those things, like those things were all cool and dandy, but I had a vision. I had a goal that I wanted to accomplish. And granted, some of my friends did too, but I was just a little bit more focused. I was just a little bit more hungrier to get to that next stage in life. But as many of you know, not everything is just as you planned, right? There's some things that get thrown your way that are unexpected. And so what do you do? What do you do in those stages? Do you just give up? Do you say I'm losing at life? Or do you try to figure out the next steps, right? And so it goes back to what the theme is for our session today, for this conference. It's resiliency. So that's the third word I want to use with you guys today, or share with you guys, is resilience. My commitment to my why and my focus helped me stay resilient. Me going through the process of trying to become a Chick-fil-A owner operator, guys, I I failed multiple times. I failed within my first 6 months of working at Chick-fil-A. I thought I was going to be fired. But here I am again, still to this day, because I stayed the course. I stayed resilient even amongst when they told me no for opportunities for restaurants, when they told me no, when I tried to work for corporate, even when they told me no for other jobs. Like, I stayed the course. I knew that, hey, at the end of the day, I wanted to win at life. I wanted to be successful. But I had to go through challenges. The things that we want in life often, they don't come easy. It takes some tenacity. It takes, again, resilience. It takes the focus to be able to get to that next stage. And even when you don't get to that next stage, what do? Do you just give up? Do you just say, hey, that's it, it wasn't for me? Or do you try to find, do you take the detour route? I took the detour route. I thought I was going to be a Chick-fil-A owner, guys, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, based off the timeline that was given to me when I first started working for Chick-fil-A. And again, 5 years later, I'm just now hitting year 2 of being a Chick-fil-A owner operator. But that's okay. It's because along that journey of failures and opportunities and successes, I was able to learn a lot. I was able to build up my, what we call, business acumen. I was able to build up the strength to endure even when things were uncertain. Look at the times that we're in right now, guys. A lot of you are in finishing up your senior year of high school. A lot of you are entering your freshman year, or maybe you're finishing up your college career. And there's a lot of uncertainty right now, right? This is the time where that R word needs to take true effect in your life. Resilience. Stay the course. Don't just think because you may not be able to attend classes in person, or this has been shut down, that you just have to give up on your goals. Again, the success and winning at life doesn't always just come at the reach of a goal. It's a continuous battle. It's a continuous effort that you have to stay on the course. I think about my business today. We are probably about 50% down of what we did last year. Now, that's scary. That's scary for my team. That's scary for my family. That's scary for me. I'm a guy with high expectations. I wanna go out and sell as many chicken sandwiches as I can sell. I want to make, a difference in as many lives as I can. But when your restaurant is closed, the mall is closed, it really pigeonholes you on what you're able to do. But again, we go back to that R word, guys. Resilience. Resilience to be able to stay the course, right? And be able to focus on what is at hand. Again, you're not always going to have the best hand. You're not always going to have all the pieces and tools that you're going to need in life. But what you do with what you're given, now that's going to make the difference. That's going to make the difference. Now, again, guys, I talked about, purpose versus passion, right? About that my purpose was in life is developing people and mentoring individuals, and then I'm passionate about business, right? But all those things, guys, my next word, it requires humility. Humility. Now, I know, when we're at a high, right? When we're winning at life and we're just doing well, like we were at the end of 2019. At the end of 2019, I surpassed the expectations for my business. So some may say, man, you're killing it. You're crushing it. Then 2020 happened and they're like, you okay over there? It was scary, right? It was scary. But again, that humility, because humility has taught me that not every time you reach a milestone that you've reached the pinnacle of life. It just means that, hey, this is the next stage in life. This is the next part of your story. I like to think of success as a chapter in your life, and then when I think about being successful, it's the whole story. It's the whole story. And so we reach success, right? But in 2019 and 2020, some may say you were unsuccessful. So, but I'm not going to measure myself off that. You know what I do? I just humble myself and I say, hey, this is my situation. This is my predicament. What do I do next? What do I do? What do I did? I ask questions. I seek advice from other people that were winning at life or in regards to the business world. But then also, and just continue to keep seeking knowledge on my own. I did the research. I went out and tried to find the information on the ways to be able to make it happen. I looked at other restaurants that were opening up on the island, saying, "Hey, what are you doing to stay open and keep those doors open and keep customers coming into those seats or just at your counter?" And that's what we had to do. But humility is a crucial part of the process, and you have to remember to stay humble regardless of the success that you life, because life will bring you back down sometimes. It will humble you and make you realize like maybe you're not as successful as you thought you were. But that doesn't mean that you're not winning at life. Again, remember guys, winning at life doesn't just mean that you're winning at the current stage in your life. There's so many other different aspects of your life, right? Your job, your bank account, your car doesn't define your happiness. I'll take, for me, example, like 5 years ago, if someone would have said define winning at life, it would have been like high paying 6-figure job. It would have been new, BMW 550i, black with the brown interior, of course, right? That would have been winning at life. But fast forward 5 years now, I'm in my 5th year of marriage. I've got my first, child. And that for me, amidst everything that's going on in this world, like I still think I'm winning at life, right? So even when life tries to humble you, you can still be winning at life in different areas of your life. You just have to know where you place happiness, where you look for happiness. And again, because some of those things can be taken just like that. My business was taken just like that. I didn't know on March 19th was going to be the day I closed my business. I thought somehow, some way we were going to make it happen. But hey, it didn't. We didn't open until May 11th. And even then I was 70, 80% down. And like I said to you earlier, I'm going to be 50% down in my business sales at the end of this year. But you know what? I'm not measuring success off of how much chicken I sold this year. I'm measuring success on the other things. And so it brings me to my next point, guys. Return the favor, right? Return the favor. Some of you will accomplish the goals that you have set out in life. You'll get that high salary job. You'll get the degree that you sought out for. You'll get that position on that team that you worked hard for in the gym, and you'll reach that success that you want, that you've envisioned for yourself. All right, cool. So what's next? What do you do next? Are you just up there on the mountain by yourself, or you try and bring alongside somebody else that you've seen, whether it's in your circle, your immediate circle, or maybe they found you on LinkedIn or on, I don't know, TikTok. I doubt people are finding people on TikTok, but let's just say somebody found you based off of what you were doing in life, and they said, you know what, that person is winning at life. They seem successful. What are they doing? Hey, and if they reach out to you, guess what you should do? Return the favor. I told you guys, when I started Chick-fil-A in 2011, my operator had just started his restaurant. He just owned it probably about 1.5 years at that point. But here I was, this young kid, fresh out of college with not a lot of leadership experience under my belt other than what I did in college. And he said, you know what? You've got potential. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to return the favor. I'm going to give you an opportunity. That's what people need sometimes, guys, an opportunity. And that's what, once you get to that next level and you're able to give people an opportunity, don't pass up on that, because that's just the beginning of that person's next journey or that next chapter in that person's life by that initial engagement with you, and you just taking the time to say, hey, how can I help? How can I help? Like I told you guys, again, I keep going back to this, but truly in life, my purpose in life is to develop people and build leaders. I think about my current leadership team in my restaurant right now. All of my leaders literally have been with me since day one, except for the exception of two, and I've got 12. So they've all been with me for 2 years at least. And for some of them, they were in college or they were in different stages of their life. But ultimately, I wanted to know that they could dream. Going back to my mission statement, guys, hey, develop a team of people that dream, achieve, and succeed. You can be whatever that you seek out to be, right? You can do whatever it is that you want to do, right? But sometimes people just need a little assistance, a little guidance, a little nudge, somebody motivating them saying, hey, listen, how can I help? How can I help you reach whatever it is that you're trying to work towards? How can I help you feel like you're winning at life? I think about one of my leaders that's currently here. Her name is, I won't say her name, but she's my HR supervisor. And when she joined me in college, but she was going to school for HR. And at the time, she wasn't a leader. She was a great team member, but she wasn't a leader. But I saw the potential. I saw that, hey, this is a young lady that's going to school for HR. I need HR help. Why not give her the opportunity? Why not give her the chance? Now, does she fail sometimes? For sure, for sure. Does she mess up? For sure. Do I have to get on her? For sure. But at the end of the day, she has the opportunity. She's getting the experience. And that's what it means when I talk about returning the favor. Again, you don't have to meet with this individual. For me, I see her 5 days out the week, right? But returning the favor doesn't mean that you always have to see someone every single day. It doesn't mean that that you got to exchange text messages every other day to let them know that you care and that you're there for them. I think for me, what I really think about is intentionality. It takes being intentional about caring for others and giving other people not just the opportunity, because they're not always looking for a job at Chick-fil-A, right? But it's just simply knowledge, sharing the knowledge, sharing your experiences. And so when I really think about winning at life, like those are the ways that I'm beginning to really reevaluate like how I consider winning at life. Like again, at the beginning of COVID, guys, I was in the slumps. I was lost, like many other business owners and just anybody that had a job or had something going on that they were looking forward to. They weren't sure what was to come. But I had to quickly realize once I looked around me and I saw my wife and I saw my young son take his first steps and run around the house and literally pull everything out of the refrigerator. And I realized at that point, that's success. That's winning at life right there. When I get the opportunity to spend that time with my child. And again, winning at life is going to look completely different for everybody. You you just have to be aware of your why, right? Going back to what it is that you want to accomplish. For many of you, when we started this session, we closed our eyes, right? We thought about the things that we wanted. Whether you want to tell the truth or not, you thought about that nice car, that 4 million, $10 million, in the bank account. You thought about those big things, and that's all okay again. But remember, it's not everything. Not everything. It is just a part of your story. And so you have to continue to seek out what it is that you're trying to accomplish in life. And again, it may change. Like I told you, 5 years ago, it looked differently than it does today. And 5 years from now, it's probably going to look a little bit different. I'm still going to love my family. I'm still going to think I'm winning at life because I have this great family. But it may not define how I win at life or how I look at my place in life, if I'm loser, if I'm winning. It's going to be different, and that's okay. Life is about change. Life is about involvement. but you have to be willing to be along to that journey. So kind of going back to those things that I mentioned, the why. Why do you want what you want? Okay, is it the right reason, or is it for well, the right reason is how you define it, right? But it's ultimately up to you. And then that second word, focus. Focus. Are you focused on what you want to do? Are you willing to sacrifice that house party tonight? Are you willing to sacrifice that extra game on Call of Duty? Right? Are you willing to stop after all those wins? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to get back on the course and stay focused on whatever it is that you're working on? That's up to you. That's up to you. And again, that third word, resilience. Roadblocks are inevitable. Ask anybody that's successful or anybody that would define themselves as winning in life, and ask them if they ever face adversity. If they tell you no, turn around. Turn around. That's not the person that you need to be seeking advice from. You want to seek advice from people that tell you about their faults, that tell you about, hey, their struggles. But there is a reason why you went to that person, because clearly they're successful. So through those faults, through those failures, through those stumbles, they were able to stay resilient amongst those roadblocks. They found that detour and they got back on course and they stayed focused on what the dream was. Again, guys, humility. I can't stress this word enough. I used to have this saying in college, and it really got me through those nights of studying long hours in the library. And when I wasn't sure of tuition, if I was going to be able to afford tuition. I believe every 4 years of my college career, I worried about tuition, right? But those are humble moments. But again, I stayed humble and I stayed the course. And I remembered, like, hey, this is just a part of the journey. This is part of me having to figure it out. And even again, when I'm at the height of, some may say, you reached it, Roosevelt. You reached your goal. You're now a restaurant owner. That's it. You're good. But at the end of the day, I remain humble in this situation, because just like that, it can be taken away. And just like that, there could be another opportunity that presents itself that may be even bigger and better. What do I do then? Do I just leave what I'm doing now? Not always. I've got to stay humble and remember, what's my why? Why am I doing what I'm doing? And then that last one, guys, again, return the favor. You don't know how much that's going to mean to an individual. This morning, me spending my time with you guys today, and you don't have to thank me, but it's me returning the favor. Me joining I Am Empowering and being a board member, and seeing and having the opportunity to speak into young people's lives like I am this morning, young or old. That's me returning the favor, because it means a lot to me. That's how I'm going to say whether or not I'm successful. It's by the amount of lives that I was able to impact on my time on this earth. That's a successful life for me. That's winning at the game of life for me. So as we wrap up today, and you think about the things that you want, and the today, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, think about what it is that you really want and how you'll win at life. Again, it's going to look different from you. It's okay. Just remember those 5 points. All right. I'll open it to you now.
Thank you so much, Roosevelt. We really appreciate you sharing your journey as to, how you became to where you are today in your position today at Chick-fil-A. And we were so happy that you're able to share your journey and resiliency. That definitely took a lot out of that. And, the struggles that you've overcome. And, there's always going to be struggles, but, remaining resilient and staying focused, those are definitely keys that I think all of us, all the attendees here took away from that. We'd like to open the chat for any questions if anyone has. I know I definitely have a few. If any, please just raise your hand and I'll call on you through the chat. Okay, so we'll give it a second. My question is, throughout COVID, I know a lot of business owners definitely really struggled, and you remain resilient. Do you have any advice for for young people growing to the next phase in their lives? Any advice of if they want to start a business or in the future, anything like that to offer to them?
Yeah, that's a great question. I actually have a couple of my team members that have started businesses amidst COVID in the middle of the pandemic. At ages of 18 and 17, they've started their own businesses, and that right there
Wow.
is quite inspiring for me. One has a clothing company, and one is a nail beautician,
Wow.
and they're figuring it out. And my advice to them is that, hey, the same advice that I just gave you today is that regardless of what's going on around you, right? Because there's always going to be something happening, whether it's an election, whether it's a pandemic, whether it's a Super Bowl, something is always going to be happening around you, right? But you
Yep,
have to,
definitely.
again, goes back to that second word of focus. And if you have a dream, if you have a goal, if there's something that you want to accomplish in life, you just have to go after it. You can't allow external factors to factor in to your drive, to your ambition, to your continuous effort, your continuous journey towards whatever that is. And so, as I see these young people, these two individuals, my team members that have started their companies and continuing to figure out ways to make it work, and
Mhm.
I'm just extremely excited to see that again, because it goes back to my mission statement. I can't stress it enough. Develop a team of people that dream, achieve, and succeed, and that's what they're doing right now. They dreamt, they're achieving, and I know their businesses are going to be successful because they're committed to making it successful, and I love seeing that. And so again, yeah, my advice is just believe in you, believe in you, believe in whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, and know that regardless of what I may say, someone else may say, what else may be going on in the world, that hey, you've got to stick to the plan. You've got to stick to what it is that you want and go after it, regardless of what and anything.
Resiliency, yeah, definitely. I see that we do have a question from Josh. He
Okay.
says, first of all, thank you for coming and speaking about the trial and the process of winning at the game of life. My question is, what is the process and steps that you take to try to figure out what decisions to make in your business as a business owner?
Oh man, that's a great question. How much time do I have left? 30 minutes? All right,
Yeah.
I'll take all of that. No, I mean, man, say that last part of the question again for me.
Of course. He says, my question is, what is the process and steps that you take to try to figure out what decisions to make in your business?
Yeah. So when I think about making decisions in my business, I've got a lot of individuals, like I said, that have been with me since day one. People that have been with me 2 years, and I've really created a bond with them, a relationship, right? I know all the things about their family, the ins and outs, their likes, their dislikes. Um, but I think what I've realized that when I make a decision for my business, it can't be just based off a relationship that I have with one individual or two individuals. My sister works for me, right? But I can't make a decision on my business based off what my sister wants.
Mhm.
The way I make decision is for the greater good of my restaurant. I have 40 plus team members at my restaurant, and I have to make it. The decisions that I make impacts them,
Mhm.
whether it's holistically, individually. But at the end of the day, my decisions impact them. When we opened back up May 11th, it was a hard question to ask people. Are you willing to come back to work? Do you? I know you see the news, and that's in May. That's when everything was still pretty high. The death toll
That's
was
right.
continuously increasing here on Staten Island.
Mhm.
It was a scary time, right? But at the end of the day, I made a decision to open my business back up because I knew there were several team members, a lot of my team members that still needed to work. They still, that unemployment wasn't coming back in, coming right away, or they still needed more. They wanted, or they just wanted to simply work. And so I had to make a decision: do we go back, or I continue just to enjoy my life, chilling at home with my wife and my son? But again, I factor in all the different things, and I factor in the community of Staten Island. They love Chick-fil-A. That chicken sandwich and that Chick-fil-A sauce is amazing.
I know
So
I do.
thank you. And so I had to figure out a way to open my business up, but that also made my team feel safe. So one of those things that I did was, which was extremely expensive, I paid for all of the Lyft rides for my team members that relied on public transportation, so they could feel like they were getting to work in a safe manner and on time, of course. And to this day, even as we're kind of teeter-tottering a little bit, as the numbers have decreased, I pay my team even more additional hours than they actually work, because it's the small things that I just want to be able to say thank you. Granted, they impact my bottom line, right? I may not make as much money, but again, my decision is for the greater good, not even just myself. Because myself would rather just, hey, I'll take all this money and you guys just keep doing what you're doing. But that's not what it's all about. I make a decision. You make decisions for the whole, not just one person.
Yeah, definitely. We see that you're very big on team building and team working, and that's something that's really important because it's a reason why workers want to go to work, want to work with you, want to work with your company. Thank you so much, Josh. Thank you for your question. I just to go back on your mission statement. I think it's really important to team build and make sure that people understand that there's a purpose of why they're doing what they're doing and working what they're working. Have there come any, I guess my question is, do you have any advice for young people when they have issues with team members, or, maybe they can't get certain things across the right way, or, maybe there's like a disconnect somewhere. Do you have any advice in regards to that for our young leaders and young business owners?
No, yeah. I think the thing that I always tell myself and I tell other leaders, or even team members, is to seek to understand. Seek to understand. Because, and what I mean by that is seek to understand the other person's perspective.
Yep.
I think oftentimes we conjure up this thought process about this other person or the situation, and in actuality, it may not be what we think it is, right? But we've just taken it and rolled it up, and now it's this big avalanche, and when in actuality it could have just been a pebblet. But we didn't take the time to say, hey, tell me why you think that way. Hey, why are we having this problem? For example, I had two young ladies that had an issue with each other, and then I had that conversation with them, and laid it all on the table, and they came to the realization, like, I really don't dislike you. I just had a moment where I was mad at you, and now I've continued this feud with you. And then once we had that conversation, and they realized that there was no true tension or beef, or they were able to step away from it, walk away from it, and now they can work together in the same environment amicably. But it takes the time to say, you know what? I'm going to figure out what's going on with this issue. I want to take the time to seek to understand why you think that way. And even me in my position now as the CEO or as the owner, I can be quick to like say, I don't like that. Oh no, it's not. Right. Why are you doing it that way? Because trust me, I'm particular about how I want my business ran. But I have to understand that sometimes people may have a different perspective than me, that may actually be better, that may actually open my eyes to something that I didn't know was there before. And by me taking the time to say, you know what, remove my pride, humble myself. Remember that H word, humble myself, and say, hey, tell me, why do you think that way? How'd you come up with that conclusion? Or why are we having this problem? Just tell me your perspective, and I'll share you mine, and then we take it from there. But it's just that conversation, that dialogue, not leaving it up to question about why we're having this issue, or why this problem continues to persist. It's actually just taking time and saying, I'm going to figure it out with this person that I'm having an issue with.
No, thank you so much for that. I think it's really important to be able to come to those conversations, and so both team members can grow and move forward from that. And these type of situations are important because you can grow and move forward from that, and it clears up things that the other person might understand is going on. I thought that was very important. Thank you so much for that, Roosevelt. I think we have another question. This is from Jacob.
Awesome.
He asks, how do I know what the best business for me to open is? Do I base this off of how much money it can make, or how much to enjoy the business? It's a good question.
Great question, Jacob. Jacob, So the one question was how much money to make, and then the second part was, I'm sorry.
He said, or how much I enjoy the business. Yeah.
Ah, man, why do you have to pick? Why, Jacob? Why do you have to pick? That's what it goes back to what I talked about at the beginning. The why, right? Why am I getting into this business? I love. Think about your favorite restaurant on the island, right? And what they do, and the dish that they make that's your favorite, right? That owner or the chef or whoever prepared that meal, they loved that product that they made, right? They thought, I gotta sell this. Somebody else wants it because they believed in what they were making. And fortunately, other people did as well, and so they were able to open up a business. Now, that's the same thing that goes back to even Chick-fil-A. It's like we had an ideal. We love chicken. We thought a chicken sandwich would be great, but we didn't know it was going to be successful. We had some people, several hundred, several thousand people say, hey, this chicken sandwich is pretty good. But until we started opening up, and when we started in a mall, in 1967, we didn't know it was going to be what it was going to be. We didn't know that we were going to be a multi-billion-dollar company, 40 plus years ago. But hey, that was the focus. It was, this is something I love doing. This is something that I'm extremely passionate about. And you know what? When you love something, when you're passionate about it, when you're committed to something, you're going to put everything that you have into it, Jacob, to make it successful, right? And so whatever the dollar amount is that you hope to accomplish in this business, hey, it'll be there. It'll come if you're committed to those other things. If you're committed to getting the product right or getting the service right, whatever it is, the industry that you're trying to step into, if you're committed to excellency, high standards, high expectations, if you're committed to, humbling yourself, again, going back to those 5 words that we talked about, all those 5 things. Are you clear on your why? Are you focused? Are you going to get through, right? Are you resilient? Because Jacob, whatever business that you decide, regardless, how easy some people may say, you're going to come across roadblocks. You're going to come across obstacles. And it's what you do in those moments that will define truly your success in the future. Monetary success can I won't say easily be obtained, but it does take it just takes intentionality, and it takes that humility. And when you run against those roadblocks and you're not sure what to do, of you asking questions, and you ask the question today, right? It's continuing to ask people that are in a position that you want to be in one day and say, hey, how did you do it? What did you do? Let me be a sponge. When you present yourself that to other people, they're willing to say, you know what, I'm going to take you alongside with me, and we're going to try and figure this thing out together. And not every conversation, not every other leader or mentor or business owner is like that, but you're going to find some individuals along in your journey that are going to say, hey, how can I help? When they do that, don't say, oh no, I'm good, I got to figure it out. Those are the people that often lose. Those are often people that are really lost and don't know that they're lost, right? If someone says, hey, how can I help? Say, hey, all right. And if you trust that person, if you respect their opinion, take it. Listen, you may not take all of it. You may just take one sentence from me answering your question today, but it's that one sentence that's going to help you. It's going to be the stone. It's going to be the step for the next step. So again, you don't have to choose. You don't have to choose. Like I said, I want a Bentley Continental GT. It's going to take some work to get that. But hey, I'm committed to it because I love what I do. I love impacting my team members that work for me. I love impacting the community that I serve in. And so the money is just icing on the cake.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Roosevelt. And just to kind of add to that, because I feel like, there is a little bit of a caution with, with starting your own business or with becoming a business owner. What do you have to say about people who are young adults, youth that are nervous about taking that risk, taking that next step, because they're scared they're going to fall. Just like you said, you have to be humble, and you have to kind of accept humility. But, taking that risk is a big deal. So what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I mean that first step is the most important step. It is the beginning of whatever it is that you're trying to work towards. And so I say, hey, take it slow,
Yeah.
right? That first step doesn't need to be a sprint. It doesn't need you. This is a marathon. The journey that I'm on right now as a business owner, as a family man, whatever the title that I'm wearing right now, it is a journey. And whatever new venture that I hope to step into one day, I have to understand that it is going to take time. That, sometimes, IG and people on the news will tell you like, hey, I'm 22 and I'm a millionaire. It just happened like for me overnight. I just had an ideal and it made it happen. Well, guess what? I'm not one of those people. And I'm sure there's several other people that are on this call that aren't like that either, right? That their success didn't happen overnight. And so again, it's all about, hey, are you willing to take that first step? Because it is scary. It is scary. Sometimes you don't know where it's going to lead to. But hey, if you're willing to take that first step, but the thing that I want you to understand and make sure that you do whatever that step is, in whatever direction that you're going with, don't do it alone. Don't do it alone. Bring somebody along with that journey, whether it's a spouse, a loved one, your mom, your dad, your best friend, all right? And they may not be part of the company, but bring them along the journey. Ask them questions. Let them be the shoulder that you lean on when you feel like you've hit rock bottom. Trust me, my wife is my wife has seen me hit that rock bottom where I don't know those next steps. When I got those no's, when I was going through the journey of becoming a Chick-fil-A owner, and she helped me through it, right? And I stepped into this business, 2 years ago. I didn't know what it was going to look like. I didn't know what success looked like, but I knew that this is what God had brought me to. I knew that this is something that I knew I was extremely passionate about. I knew my why. I knew my why, and my why helped me feel confident in that first step. Doesn't mean that my foot wasn't shaking. Oh, it was shaking, but I was confident in myself, and I was confident in my vision, and again, my why. So be confident in whatever it is your why, because it is scary regardless. Again, I can't stress that enough. You are going to be scared. If anyone tells you they weren't scared on that first leap of faith, then they're lying to you. Again, like I said, turn around. But but it's okay. It's okay to be scared. That keeps you hungry. That keeps you aware, awake, and hopefully you'll take that second step.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Roosevelt. And if anyone doesn't have any other questions, just want to thank you so much for joining. Roosevelt, if there was anything else that you wanted to add, I think we all took a lot away from your session today, and we really appreciate you jumping on and sharing your story and your journey with us. This is very important and very realistic and very real. I really appreciate it. I think we have one more question, actually.
Okay, yeah.
This one is from Gabriel. He asks, how do you decide whether moving far from home or staying close to home is better for your business, or if you want a business that relies on constantly traveling? It's a good question.
That is a great question. When I first, like I told you, I mean, I hate to put everything towards Chick-fil-A, but that has been my life for the last 10 years. And so, but when I joined Chick-fil-A in 2011, I worked in a restaurant for 4 years. And after the 4 years, I joined corporate, which is based out in Atlanta. But the job itself was a traveling job. I traveled, 99, 100% of the job was travel. And so and I did that for 2.5 years along with my wife. And I missed holidays. I missed birthdays. I missed a lot of events, but I knew that ultimately it was for a purpose, right? So I made those sacrifices of those events, and you don't always have to do this, but this was part of my journey to get to the next step. And so if traveling and going abroad is what's necessary to again get closer to your goal or to open up this business, then do it with faith. Do it knowing that there's a purpose behind it. And communicate that to those loved ones that are saying, hey, don't leave. Why are you leaving? This has been your home forever, right? The majority of people that live on Staten Island have lived on Staten Island, and they're generations of Staten Islanders. But at the end of the day, it's okay. It's okay to leave. Staten Island will still be here.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it'll still be here. It may look differently 5 years from now when you return, but guess what? It's still going to be here. It's still going to be home. And hopefully your family is still going to be here. So don't be afraid to step out outside of this area code and or the zip code and go and reach your goals. But again, it's all about the why. I can't stop going back to that. It's ultimately about why. Why do you want to go abroad, or why do you feel like the business is better to stay here? And ultimately, what do you want to do? Does it make sense? If it makes sense to go and open your business in Colorado, guess what? And this is a business that you're extremely passionate about, go to Colorado. Go to Colorado. Okay.
Thank you so much, Roosevelt. Thank you. I think that was great advice for Gabriel, and we hope we answered that question for you, Gabriel. And I think that's wonderful. You have to decide. You have to make big decisions on what you're passionate about and what your purpose is, and like you said, the why. That's a great takeaway. So that's great. I'm really appreciating that, and I hope everyone else is taking that away.
I do want to say one thing before our time ends.
Yeah.
You know, and I know I said it in some form or not, or hopefully I said it in some type of form. But winning at life is truly, in my opinion, is about happiness. It's about happiness. Are you happy with what you're doing? Mm-hmm. That's happiness. I love what I do. Now, some days I'm tired, right? This morning I was tired, like a lot of you. I was playing Call of Duty and watching the election up to 3 o'clock in the morning. But hey, I'm up, I'm here, and I love it. And as soon as we're done here, I'm gonna stay here and build with my team. But again, it's because I'm happy. I can get through the day-to-days. I can get through the troubles that I'm doing because I'm happy. And so regardless if my business closes today or if something else, drastic happens, I know though that I'm winning at life because I'm happy at life. I'm happy where I'm at in life. And so I hope that wherever you guys end up, wherever your journey takes you, is that you're happy with what you're doing. Again, the money, the cars, the job that maybe your mom or your dad, your parents are telling you that you need to get, is success. Again, success is just a chapter, right? Being successful is the journey, is the story, is the full story. So I hope at the end of your journey, at the end of your story, that truly you're happy and that you're successful.
Thank you, Roosevelt. And we actually have one more question.
Of course.
From Raymond Tam. He asks, how has corporate helped you as a franchise owner during COVID-19?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, corporate, my experience in corporate was my training ground. I had my experience in the restaurant, but one of the things that happens when I worked for corporate was they talk about putting the weight of the business on your shoulders. And so when it came down to it, that top line and that bottom line in this program that I was in was mine. My name was on what we call our P&L report. And so I felt the weight of that business. So definitely going the corporate route definitely helped me be prepared and understand some of the challenges that was to come. I remember one day sitting in my office just like this, literally an office similar as this, and I was at an assignment in Atlanta. And I asked God, tell me, give me a sign, what do I need to do? And that advice, and that evening, my wife told me, hey, it's the restaurant industry. And you're going to be like, duh. But she told me it's the restaurant industry. Every day is going to be different, but it's another day. And that right there alone was the advice I needed. And that was through my experience working other restaurants, feeling the weight of the business on my shoulders, and failing multiple times to ultimately get to this position today.
Thank you so much, Roosevelt.
Hey, it's my pleasure.
Thank you so much. If anyone else doesn't have any questions, we'll be able to wrap this up. Okay.
One more.
Second. Yeah. These have been great questions.
Yeah, they are. No, but seriously, guys, if anybody, my restaurant is the Chick-fil-A Staten Island Mall. So guess where I'm located, guys? In the Staten Island Mall. I'm sure if you haven't been here once already this week, you'll be here at some point. So stop by, ask for me. I feel comfortable sharing my contact information with you guys. I'm here to support. Again, my goal, my mission statement is to develop a team of people that dream, achieve, and succeed. And it doesn't mean employees. It doesn't always have to mean someone that's a Chick-fil-A team member. It means anybody that's seeking help, anybody that needs a little bit of encouragement, a little inspiration. You know, Truett Cathy, our founder of Chick-fil-A, said, you know who needs, you know who needs, I forgot the exact phrase, but encouragement, excuse me, you know who needs encouragement? And he said, if they're breathing. And so I'm here to encourage. I'm here to help. I'm inspire, whatever it may be. It may be to tell you that you're going in the wrong direction. It may be telling you you're going in the right direction, or may just be able to say, would you like Chick-fil-A sauce or Polynesian sauce? Whatever it may be, I'm here to support and help you guys in any way, shape, fashion, or form that I can. So stop by the restaurant, find us on Instagram, Facebook, but most importantly, like I said, find me here at the restaurant.
Thank you so much, Roosevelt. And thank you so much for offering yourself as a resource for anyone, young, old, in the middle, for any questions and advice and encouragement, nudging, pushing, whatever that they may have. I think everyone really appreciates that, and they really enjoyed your you sharing your journey and your story with us today.
Hey, it was truly my pleasure. Again, thank you, SIEDC. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for those great questions and helping me not feel so nervous. But seriously, thank you guys, and I hope you get a lot out of today. Today's a great event, and so soak up that knowledge, ask questions.
Thank you so much, and please join us at our other events. Thank you so much again, Roosevelt, and we hope to see you again. Thank you, everyone.
Take care.
Thanks, bye.